Deputy Speaker. The Treasury has been flying more kites than the end of Mary Poppins in the papers over the last few weeks. But if they're true, the Chancellor is preparing the most destructive raid on homeowners in living memory. Families across my constituency of Farnham and Bordon are bracing themselves for new taxes on homes over £50,000, capital gain tax on family houses, a revaluation of council tax, and even a land value tax. This is not reform, this is a sledgehammer aimed squarely at aspiration, mobility and stability. And once again, it is the South and the South East that will be punished the most. In Farnham, where the average house price now exceeds £600,000, with detached homes at nearly £900,000, families could face annual bills of nearly £5,000 on top of mortgages, council tax and energy costs. In Hazelmere, Liphook and Bordon, households will not be spared. These levies will strip thousands from budgets already stretched to the limit. And what of pensioners and downsizers in Greyshot, Churt, Bramshot, Tilford or Frensham? They would face the grotesque prospect of capital gains tax on their primary residence.
Will the honourable member give way?
I will do.
Thank you. He talks of pensioners. Does he agree with me that this is an extra pressure for them, given all the concern that was put upon them because of the cut to winter fuel payments?
My honourable friend is absolutely right. And once again, this government showing that it doesn't understand and doesn't value pensioners in this country and the sacrifice that they have done. Everyone, pensioners, farmers, small business owners, are seen as a cash cow for this government. And as you rightly say, I will give way.
Giving way. The Conservative government raised taxes 25 times in the last Parliament. How many of those tax rises did he oppose?
I don't want to correct the honourable gentleman, but I wasn't here to oppose or support any of those. But what I would gently remind him of, and I use the word gently because I know the honourable member on the front bench loves the word gently, so I said it twice now. But the reality was that there was a pandemic that had to be funded and dealt with. There was a war in Ukraine that had to be funded. And as we've gone back in history a bit, we had to deal with the deficit that the last Labour government left us. And that is the reality of the situation. No, I won't. No, I'm afraid I've given away a couple of times. This is a tax on the family home, and it will hit hardest those who have worked hard, saved responsibly and played by the rules. Let us be clear, Madam Deputy Speaker. This is not simply a question of numbers on a balance sheet. It is about whether families can stay in the communities where they raise their children. It's whether pensioners can pass on their homes, and whether young people will ever see the ladder of opportunity come down again. A capital gains tax on main homes will trap people in their properties, create a locked-in market and dry up the supply of homes. Transactions will slow, chains will break, and first-time buyers, the very people Labour claimed to champion, will be shut out even further. The government has tried to defend this agenda by talking about fairness, but there is nothing fair about a pensioner in Gretham being forced to sell their family home to pay the taxman. There is nothing fair about young families in Linford choosing between childcare and a new annual property levy. And there is nothing fair about placing the heaviest burden on one region of the country simply because its housing stock is higher in value. In truth, this is a South and South East tax dressed up as national fairness. And this is part of a pattern, Madam Deputy Speaker. From scrapping the pensioner fuel allowance that my honourable friend from Bromley and Biggin Hill mentioned, to threatening VAT on private schools, to punitive business tax rises, every single decision seems to be about sending a political signal rather than supporting families or growing the economy. And the consequences are plain to see. Falling business confidence, another year of negative hiring expectations and growing unemployment. Wasn't their white paper meant to be called Get Britain Working? All we're seeing is Britain grinding to a halt. The Chancellor may talk of fairness, but she's stripping away the last sanctuary for working people, the roofs over their heads. Overtaxation without clarity will paralyse the housing market, punish my constituents and undermine economic stability. Madam Deputy Speaker, if you tax homes, you tax hope. And that is the surest way to drain ambition from our country. We should be protecting families, not forcing them to sell up. We should be supporting aspiration, not taxing it into extinction.